Yo, family, Potter Gabriel, what's up? Hey, Kari K, pass away. How you guys doing? Yeah, I'll be waiting for a little bit to see the amount of people coming on, so we can have conversation, because it's going to be a very serious conversation. It's going to be extensive conversation. It's going to be definite conversation. We're going to be talking to the minds of Liberians, and we're going to be talking to those who don't have regards for leaders, or big leaders, so to speak. Apostle JORWEAH, what's up? And we're going to be chastising the folks from the Ministry of Information who are so very rude and disrespectful and profane. We're going to be talking to the police, the fire service. We're going to be enacting the fame and the people of Liberia. So share the podcast as many times as you can. Song Quartet, Profile Liberia. What's up? What's up? So let's do that, because it's going to begin very soon. We're going to begin very soon. Hey, David Miller, what's up? So come on, no music playing, but I'm expecting you on. Hey, Sam Washington. Let's put in, because it's going to be hours. You're going to be hearing from me. And I'm asking and begging you guys, please don't call this number now, because I'm going to be very basic, dealing with the people's issues. And my name is Siokin Sevicus Basiga, an award-winning academic elite, a creative leadership award winner, an activist, an advocate, a politician, a humanitarian and leadership expert. Emmanuel Nivea, what's up? Terry, what's up, my brother? Lawrence Bank City, how you doing? And I'm encouraging you and inviting you to come on and listen very well. You can write your comments in every way and in any way. I will read them if I want to or if I feel like. But our country, the Republic of Liberia, is known for as the land of the free. And we all have got the opportunity to be born here. We all have the legitimacy, following the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, to become whatever we want to be. Thank you, Zebedee Johnson Fatu. What's up? Darius, thank you. No Liberian who has reached the benchmark. Answer to the West of Mayfield. Given what the constitutions provide, should ever be condemned or relegated to a particular column or a specific portfolio. Hey, Rogner Jai, what's up? And so today, I will be speaking to you concerning leader, His Excellency George Shumani. We are great men walking, born to succeed. Liberia's miracle child and the man who does the unusual. There are issues I want us to discuss together. Hey, Bessie, Myers, Basakin, Abraham Flomo, Rodney Jai, Darasel. And I want you to invite your friends to come on. And I will give you at least 5-10 minutes more so that we can have this conversation together. I'll be looking for some beautiful music that you probably like to listen to. And respectfully, I have no copyright to this music if I find them. Dirty man, what's up? Come on for it. And so we have a journey we on. And I want you to come with me on this journey. We are traveling the distance together. It might look very long, but it isn't. And so that's why I'm inviting you. If you can't walk, hold somebody's hands so they can pull you. If you can't jump, stand up somewhere in the tall building so you can see what we're about to talk about. Liberia is in a crisis. When we make mistakes, these mistakes affect us deliberately and intentionally without courtesy. Where we've come now, Liberia was on a very good footing to convert herself amongst the Committee of Nations. But you see, our society has a way of defeating themselves. And everyone is thinking that this country called the Republic of Liberia is owned by him or her. Now those very same people are projecting that His Excellency WEAH is the owner of Liberia. The very same people. But here's why they think so. Because he's a wonderful man who grew up in a slum community. He grew up in a desert neighborhood, ugly neighborhood, contaminated neighborhood. Thank you, Ito. What's up? CC29, what's up? It's Stages. What's up, my brother? My bastard brother, how you doing? It's Stages, Glasgow. And so, they've come to believe that this wonderful soul, this good man, who evolved from nowhere, absolutely nowhere, because he's been relegated, he's been condemned. This is a story we're going to tell over and over, and no one is going to stop us from saying it and telling it and explaining it. Kuman Ibrahim, Howard, Zebi Goba, what's up? Emmanuel Carr, Emmanuel Lehman. Now I'm convicted to keep explaining the story because it inspires us, it inspires me, it motivates us, it motivates me. Answer, what's up? Magay, what's up? Abdullah Khan, how you doing? So in a footprint that we want to walk in, we must be able to explain to the people what we've seen, what we've heard. Are there legacies to follow? Of course. Samson D, what's up? Majid Tikon, what's up? Augustine Boazizi Magel and Ito Kipi Jr. Ah, dear friends, we haven't begun yet. We are in an intro. My name is Siokin Civicus Basiga, an award-winning academic athlete, a creative leadership award-winner, an activist, an advocate, a politician, a humanitarian and leadership expert. I got a message for you. And that's why I'm asking you to join. Invite your friends. Come on. Let's buck up here. Let's buckle our belt together right here. Let's look in the face and tell them they're wrong. Let's look in the face of the next person who isn't doing good and change them. That's what revolution requires. When they are rude, tell them they're rude. When they are disrespectful and requires to be chastised, chastise them. Now I'll tell you, because I'm a leadership expert, I don't easily hesitate to tell you in your face who you are. And I really don't care how you feel about it. I've come to the point to realize that the Ministry of Information is being used as a dump site for rude people. You're not hearing me. Ibrahim Tape, L6 Kwame, Amadou Cooper, Justin Morgan, Majid, thank you. David Coley, what's up? Amadou Cooper. The Ministry of Information has been considered as a dump site for rude people in this government. See, my conversation will not be chronological today. The Ministry of Information in the Joseph Weakling Boakar's government has been used as a dump site for rude people. Folks who are appointed to that ministry are appointed with a particular task to be rude and disrespectful, profane, and full of vulgarity. Policeman, what's up, cousin? Ropoga, what's up? Sambola Lisa, how you doing? Morris Salive, and Patience Judo, Laura Aski. You look at yourself, and you have a government, and you chose that one of the government's arm, especially the arm that should be speaking on behalf of all other agencies and the entire government, you chose that particular portion to be a dump site for rude kids. You consider yourself a leader, 42 years or plus experience that you gathered. Now, Joseph has been opportune to work in big places. And not many Liberians have the opportunity. But it doesn't mean that he's smart. Now, I'm an expert, so I will say it that way. There are people like that on earth who have had these opportunities. But it doesn't mean that these people are smart. Now, people can pity them, people can feel sorry for them. Maybe their luck, their condition, or their enrichments, or the way they hang around, or somebody knows them. Junior Brown, Gerald, what's up? Shark, hey, Richard Shark, Shark Attack, how you doing? Nicholas Gibson. Share the podcast as many times as you can. We have message for you. Let's go back to 600 numbers as we had the other day in 30 minutes. So if you're busy, just ask somebody. Now, Joseph chose the Ministry of Information as a dump site for rude people. My third son, how you doing? People must come to work in government with a particular responsibility to serve. To serve government, because government is for the people, by the people, of the people. The government is owned by the people as we work in the democracy. But it's now different in this particular government. See, the president arrived the other day on the airport. It was a very heavily armed territory. There's a guy, a boy called Gregory Comer. He's 45 years old because he's 1980, I'm 1981, so I'm 44. So Gregory Comer is one of many persons that the former president helped, gave opportunity to serve, grew him, and always advised him to be a better citizen. No, we didn't even know that he would come this far with such an anger and be so aggravated and be so very rude and be so disrespectful to the former president and all of us surrounding this country today. But who Gregory is taking himself for? Gregory is listed in Washington, D.C. as a guy who has been measured on administrative process when he wanted a visa to go to America, to go to school at Harvard. It took Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to help this folk to get a visa to go to America. The same Gregory that the former president gave opportunity to run the Bureau concession, who couldn't even maintain it. What's up, Scorpion Rupert E. Z. Peaches? What's up, my brother? Love Kumin, how you doing? Now here is what people don't understand about the former president. He's empathetic. He's respectful. He has a great sense of humor. He's the big leader. So he respects everyone equally. Now, he will give you the courtesy you deserve. But he won't allow you to disrespect him. And I won't allow you to disrespect him. But it has come to the point that Joseph Weakling Boakai and his entire government have come to reason in their ugly mind that being abusive, disrespectful, confrontational to the immediate former president is a model. Who's going to take that model from you? Kids are growing up and learning something better. Now, innovation is taking the word. And then you got these brutally arrogant unity party government that came to power through coincidence, doing all kinds of things in the country, destroying everywhere, misbehaving everywhere, disrespecting everyone, running their mouths into places, now breaking down the economy again. Now, when we came, we met this whole inflation thing at 15 point some. See, I'm not a financial expert, but we brought it to 4 point something percent. And we were even projected to do more if we've won. Now, they haven't projected. I heard they are at 16.1. They've taken it to the worst again. Now, a former president that must be respected, I'm using the word must. I don't know about which school you went to. When you hear must, it's an emphasis. I don't know about you. I don't know how educated you are. I don't know which school you went to. I don't know who taught you. But I'm educated. I'm sophisticated. And I know what I say. And I defend what I say. And I know who I work for. And I defend who I work for. And I respect that man. Nobody in the world will see Joshua and never respect him. That person must not be paying attention to himself or herself. What's up, Dr. Joshua Bernard? Now, here is the fact that you want to run away from. Outside the presidency, there's only one person we have in this country recognized globally. I mean, triple, quadruple recognition. Now when you think about the way that you guys are behaving, if you think about the way that you guys carry yourself, you are absolutely no leader. Because I'm an expert in the field. You are absolutely no leader. You are some brutal, arrogant citizen looking for an opportunity to devour your opponent or to misbehave or to raise hell with people. What's up, baby? Inosoa. What's up, my brother? From Rhode Island. Abraham Wiki looking. What's up? Moses Carr. Now, a former president that must, look at the word must. Now here you're talking to somebody who's familiar with literature, language art, and English in separation. I'm using the word must. Enter Elizabeth Sano, Teresa, we are fully masterly. Philip, how you doing? I'm using the word must, so you don't misunderstand me. I'm gonna grab my tea. Listen, I am using the word. Therefore, what's up? Joshua Bernard, Dr. Bernard, what's up? Must is the word I'm using. Now, because I'm familiar with words, and I'm useful to words, and words are useful to me in the same way, vice versa, and I'm an expert in leadership, I'll be able to explain them and break it down for you. I might not be chronological, but in a systematic way, you understand me. A former president is equated to... Look, listen, I don't understand how you guys see a former president. Now, you took a heavily armed troop men on the airport. A former president arriving in the country and you have heavily armed men mixed with fire service. You have AFL, you have police, you have the Firestone police. You had a conglomeration of arrogant folks together led by Nelson Freeman. Now, I thought Nelson has changed. What's up, Arnold? What's up, Freeman? Robert Perez, what's up? I thought Nelson had changed. I mean, Nelson Freeman from Cottington University. I thought he had changed. So you see, because Nelson had not changed, you can see the way they run the government. They run the government the same way they were before. They haven't changed. Fatima Sad says, hey, Brickfield, David, Michael Carter, what's up? Vision TV, thank you. 77, call it 40. Bring your guys on. Now, what I want to talk about is the legacy. And the only legacy we have is JORWEAH. And the plan of the opponent and enemies and the Joseph Wilklin Boakai government is to delete the legacy of Liberia. Destroy the legacy of Frank Maywe. What's up? Lady Cully, what's up? Ominga, we are. Soren and Dan Johnson, how you doing? And Davidson S.M. Morris, how you doing? Now, I'll talk to you later, Davidson. You probably don't understand how he looks like with red thing. That is too slow for me. So I can respond to you as an individual. You're ignorant. You don't know what it is about rank thing. If you knew what a red looks like, and you know what the economy looks like, and you know what a trickle-down effect looks like, you won't be rating $5 was $1,000, now it's this. No. Because you're stupid, so you don't understand. And the reality is, every day that breaks, that Joseph Wilklin Boakai and his man, Jeremiah Kpankun, and the entire team of government workers are so concentrated on how to be rude to His Excellency. And so we arrived in country last Monday. Now Monday today made it a week. When we arrived in country, we saw a whole troop as if we were fighting war. And we wrote the international community and told them about the kind of mayhem and disrespect to democracy in the Republic of Liberia. Now you have scattered everything. You have destroyed everything. You have been disobedient. You have been disrespectful. You have no courtesy for the former president. You have no courtesy for the legacy of the former president. You have the courtesy. You don't have intelligence to tell us what do you come for. Now you are on the front line. You are led by Gregory Coleman, Nelson Freeman, and there's a very yellow guy who walks around the street acting like he's some powerful dude. But I know him in person. These folks have been reported to the international community. Now we try to be composed every time and leave you in bewilderment so that you cannot feel comfortable with your confrontation. You come in an aggravated way to the former president. He comes so very calm. He understands what it is. He makes it, hey, Asuna Keita, Uchacha, what's up, senior player? And so he made it look like that everything is okay. Because he understands and respects democracy. Hey, so what's up? Mary Johnson. So if he did not understand democracy, then there would have been a major problem in the country now. He understands what peace looks like. Because he's the umbrella of peace in the country. And that's why he always say, without peace, our world will be difficult. You cannot be rude and disrespectful to the former president and expect to get a courtesy. You are leaving from here soon and very soon. And by 2029, the consequences will be very huge. The people will not tell you in your face now because some of them are working. They don't want you to fire them as you always do. The people will not walk in your house and say, I don't want to eat here. They will eat your food because they know you're going to hurt them. But they know they're going to take you from there. See, democracy has a way of affecting itself. And that's people like you, Alexander Simwe saying, what's up? You are not supposed to be here. Morris, how you doing? You are not capable to be our leader. You are not supposed to be elected. Musa Sherry, what's up, big brother? How you doing? Hey, Cyril Massacre. You are not capable to be a leader, Joseph. You are not supposed to be elected, but situation predicted that. We have seen them many times around the world where people get elected by coincidence, and because of some reasons and some anger, you got 0.8% lead, and you think that's okay. But come to realize how you won. You were beaten in the first round. You were murdered in the first round by numbers and by counties. You can tell that you just didn't win. If for any reason the people of ACOP did not support you, you could have been beaten all through the elections. Because you always talk about we need Nima, we need... You have all those counties. But you had to run and creep on ACOP. And that's how you even got the 0.8% with all of that. Now the president arrived in the country and you have Gregory Common led a whole group of armed men on the airport to harass him, to disrespect him, pretending like you went to secure him. Bobby Clark, how you doing? Come here right. Thank you for being worried about me. You are so worried. Hey Richard, what's up? What's up, cuz? Tenet Freeman, what's up? Thank you, Kuma. Now you come to power, and then the next thing, just 3-4 days later on, the former president house is on fire. Let me talk about that. 3-4 days later on, we arrive on a Monday, that's this gone Monday, and 2 days ago, the former president house got on fire. And for some reason, my intelligence keeps telling me why in the upper part of the house and in the master bedroom and in the bedroom of the president, why? Why? Why in the upper part of the bed of the house and the bedroom of the former president, the master bedroom? Why was that particular place, the particular place elected to be on fire? And then this ignorant kid you have at the information ministry, including some men, or maybe this guy called Pia or whatever, they sit because you are made in some rude kids in the dumpster of information ministry, and so these kids sit there and just be rude and talking. You got this other kid called Daniel Sino. I don't know his name. I always hear people call his name some Daniel Sino, who has no resume, who has no trademark, who nobody knows except for these little street politics. Says behind a microphone that he might not have frequent time to talk on because he's never got invited anywhere before in the world. The only place he's ever talked was down the street corners in Monrovia. The next place is sitting right there. There's a chosen place for rude kids called Ministry of Information in Joseph Boakar's government. There where you have this foolish kid called Daniel Sando, who has no history of his own existence, is sitting there and misbehaving. And the threat is These are the folks who run away and lie, say they've been hunted. Because their character shows that they cannot stay in the confines of the community or in the county or in the country any longer for their misbehavior. You get on a microphone and lie to the public, abuse the former president and think that's okay? No, that's not okay. If information ministry is the dump site for rude case, you better take them to the rehab. You can't have a Daniel Sano, I don't know if that's how you call him, sitting at the dumpster for rude kids, you call information ministry, and being rude and abusive behind a microphone, and you think that's news he's making? He's making no news. He will be chastised. That is why we are here. We are the sophistication of this generation. And because we are sophisticated, and we are defined theory of academic, we will punish him. He knows absolutely nothing. He's absolutely illiterate and an ignorant kid. He's a fool of the highest order. Nobody knows that name wherever he's been born or grown up at. Now he has an opportunity to pay his rent or to feed himself for a low while, and he thinks that's something to misbehave about. He gets on the radio and say a whole lot of trash. He can't even defend the government that is running mad and crazy. This is a guy who does not even know why he was made a deputy minister, I heard. This is a guy who does not even know why he's in government. This is a guy who doesn't even have the sense and doesn't have the remorse and doesn't have the conscience. He doesn't know who the leader is. He doesn't even know who Joseph Wickland Boycott is. He can't explain about him. He can't even explain his own history and his birth history. But he sits on the microphone and is talking about the most hero we ever had in our history. Michigeta, how you doing? Usman Kamara. Thank you, Joanna. How you doing? In the framework of academic, such a fool will not survive. And that's why the people have gathered their remorse. They know they made a big mistake. They walk from the RIA straight to rehab. They walk behind the former president, the president's car. They keep chanting their errors and they keep making new commitments that 2029 they're walking back in the mansion. There are several syllables to prove that he's going to win. What models have you established? What will your legacy be, Joseph? And you have a bunch of gangsters in power, ignorant people in power, bunch of fools in power, a bunch of rude kids in power, a bunch of indisciplined kids in power, and all they do is to worry about JORWEAH. There's nothing to do. Now, when George was president, he built an invisible park. Today, go to the invisible park and see how it's been contaminated. You have had cold water bag flushed in the invisible park. Everywhere the buildings and everything looks so filthy. You have brought down the basketball court. You have destroyed all the carpets. The once beautiful place built by the former president is the one you destroy now. You go to PHP, you get drunk and destroy things over there. Is that why you wanted to come here? Is that why you wanted to be president? 42 plus years, they say, as a parasite in this country. Is that why you wanted to be president? You are a disgrace to the nation. You are a big shame. You have embarrassed us. If you ever went somewhere and announced you and say you are a president, we will be in trouble. And it's a disgrace for me to do that. How come you don't know a president should be modest, civilized, intelligent, and delicate? You have a bunch of criminals parked somewhere doing anything they want to anyhow. And you pick a particular ministry for only rude case, JORWEAH, Daniel Sando, and a couple of folks parked there. Everything they say is very rude and disrespectful. And you got one police boy, just 45 years old, and he thinks it's okay for being disrespectful. The same man who fed him, the same Gregory who we fed, we gave an opportunity, we gave a job. I'm coming here to try to get my water. I'm sorry for leaving. I try to get water quickly. And respectfully, you have people you put in power only to be abusive and rude. You better check yourself now. Because these times are numbered. You are treating the Liberians as if to say they were forced to make you president. You don't even recognize how you won elections. And that's how ignorant you all are. Do you even know the mathematics? Do you know the yardsticks on which you won? Have you evaluated how you won? You think you won because they love you? They don't love you. You are not favored. You don't carry grace. You are not loved by the people. It's by coincidence. It's by coincidence that you were elected. And out of anger. And out of anger. We have seen what anger do. Anger carries a whole lot of burden with it. That's why they say the hungry man is an angry man. In some way, anger does a whole lot to people. And that's why when people get angry, they tell them not to make decisions when they are mad. You got to wait a little bit. So choosing Joseph Wickland Boyka out of anger led to all of this we are going through today. That some group of people are just being gathered at information ministry to be rude to the former president, insult anyhow. And I hear the fire service. After the president got on fire, the president made a call. It took over an hour before you even came in. And when you came in, you already brought a defective truck that wasn't even functioning. Hey, Vinton Jefferson Johnson, what's up, my brother? Chairman Yahala Tahala, what's up, Babu Koli? So you look around all of the cars you have, and you brought in a defective fire service truck that couldn't even flush your water for over 20 minutes. You couldn't flush your water. The people in the community started to help. But my concern is so much that why the big building, but the upper side, the particular room the president sleeps in is the room that got affected. Why? And then you are calling for investigation. You haven't even investigated the former speaker's house that got burned. You didn't even take notice on that. There are several houses that got burned. You didn't even investigate them. The Capitol building got burned. You haven't completed an investigation. But you have the audacity that you want to investigate the immediate former president's house because you have permission. Now the high rate of electricity in this country have made it so difficult that you don't reason no more. You haven't even completed investigation of the first branch of government's building, the Capitol building. The former speaker's house got on fire for Nati Kofa. You didn't even bring us a report. There have been over 50 or more than 100 houses that got burned all around. You haven't told us the reason why. But boom, immediately you heard that the immediate former president came in the country. 4 days later, his master bedroom got on fire. You are ready for the investigation. You want to go take picture in his house now and post it all over. You want to sneak in his house to steal something. Sekou Soko Kamara, you got to shut your mouth. You don't even have sense. You don't even have sense. You are so silly, you don't even understand. Because if you were educated, but I don't blame you. I'll handle you later. I don't blame you. I don't want to get distracted by an ignorant like you. You sit there and watch Joseph Wickland Boyka display arrogance in the country. You stop a man from using the buildings he built. You defy and disrespect him thinking you are here forever. He comes on the airport, you deploy armed men through Gregory Command to disrespect him. He gets out of the airport, the citizens walk with him from the airport straight to RIA. And after everything, he comes home, and 3 days later, you are at his house. Fire got you out of the house, but nowhere else, in the master bedroom. You haven't completed an investigation of the Capitol building, the first branch of government that got on fire. You haven't given any report of the building over there, this former speaker's building in the rehab that Joseph Boakai did not visit. And you want to now go immediately to the former president's house and give investigation and give report. And I heard one of you or some of you talking that the former president should allow you in his house. As evil and disrespectful you are, you want to enter his house? You want to enter his room? You want to take pictures? He called you, it took you an hour to come. When you came, you brought a defective truck. The next thing, you brought a truck when everyone was helping out. Now you lied. You were on Facebook posting some fake pictures. You want to hurriedly investigate and implicate people. You guys are sad. But the measurement is clean. By 2029, we will see the difference between you, the people, and us. Now the economy is draining. And everything is collapsing. You are grateful because you can pay your low bills now. You can beg around. You can feed yourself, pay your kids' school fee. You think that's fine. What about the free tuition that we had on ground? Why aren't you supporting the free tuition at public university? Why aren't you supporting that? Why aren't you supporting the educational system like the mandate? The WEAH'S were free. The allowance were available. Murphy number, what's up, Capital? Don't forget, what's up? And people like George Thomas, you'll be asked there, have you ever been able to buy a biscuit? They don't even know, so I don't waste my time on it. Nicodemus Jacobs, what's up? Now you are glued to following a man with no history because you are like him. When we ask some of you, what have you achieved? And you're almost in your 50s, you don't even have any report to make. Similarly, this man has been having jobs over. Sabato Dennis, how you doing? This man has had jobs over and over, ranging from agriculture ministry. And he went to FPRC. He became vice president for 12 years. Now, after all of these, we haven't been able to read any copy of his success story. But I can label everything that His Excellency George Manneh we have achieved in life. But you station him to soccer. But we station you to agriculture. We want to measure both of you. And so we can now give a valediction on who's done what. And from what point can they transition. Because our leader is what Fidel Loki, how you doing? Eddie Fode, how you doing? Roger Jebo, how you doing? From every corner, our leader is sensible in love to transition from where he was based on the problems he solved to go to the next level. And that's why people excel. But here you are, a low IQ group of people in the Unity Party sitting talking about he's only a soccer player. No. It is the barrack on which he elevated. It was that particular career that took him to the UN. What's up, Paul? What's up, Harlem Bright? It was that particular career that took him to the UN. Now, if, like what the boss said, if you disagree with me, give me your antithesis of Boakai's successes in agriculture. I tell you, JORWEAH's successes in soccer. He qualified Liberia 2 times for AFCON. He nearly qualified for World Cup. He financially took care of the Lone Star. He took over 50 Liberian players abroad to play. He has used his network to build an image of Liberia and re-imaging Liberia. He led the peace, restoration in this country. He took a lot of people abroad that he did not know. He sent all other people to school. He fed the hunger. He built hospitals. Now when he became president, I know about the 14 military hospital, but what have you done? I know about the 100 bedroom hospital in Bapolu. What have you done? I know about the hospital in Riverside. What have you done? I know about the almost completed hospital, the New Redemption. What have you done? And I know about several other facilities, including over 50 marketplaces built for our mother. What have you done? You just rude. You are abusive. You are all barbarians. You go on the airport acting like hooligans in arms. You, Gregory Coleman, Nelson Freeman, and other folks all over the place with gun, acting as if you are the only person that knows about gun. How long will you hold that gun for? When you're no longer in power, you got to drop the guns. You will be treated the same way as a common criminal because you've made yourself that way. You disrespected people. You didn't honor the former president. You didn't honor big leaders. You thought you were a leader now because you're police director. The same police director that the American government gave a note to for almost 1 year, you couldn't get a visa because of your criminal act. Nelson Fima is known for murdering a kid or more at the November 7 saga at CDC's former headquarters. And a lot of you in the police today have a very tainted record. And you keep trying to emphasize it because Joseph gave you a job. You need to be careful. You need to be careful. Because the CDC is a force to reckon with. The CDC is stronger than the way you think. The CDC is smarter than you think. The CDC has most of the smart men and women in Liberia. The CDC has a big sophistication you don't have. And because you have been glued to the mindset that George is just a footballer and George knows nothing, that contamination has taken you to a place to be devastated. But the time is now. We are regrouping. We are recollecting. We are recalibrating. Our people will come back. Those who left the party and voted, you will never vote it again. Whatever anger that took them away will bring them back because it's seeing the clearest picture of an evil tyrant in the land. You've come to power as if you've been thinking on something evil. This man fed you. He paid your hospital bills. He did a whole lot for you. But here you are now, pretending like you're not paying attention to the country. And everything collapsing. You promised to take the folks from the street, but who has packed and died. You are brought in more drugs than any government can imagine. You bring in drugs daily, like hourly, from Bannersville, from Kebai, from the airport, from Bombing County, from Cape Mount, from Lofa, where you from the border of Nima, from Grand Jide. Every county has been infested by drugs because of Joseph Weakland Boaka, his kids, and his so-called comrades working along with him. You can't get the vote you got before on that sympathy. No more sympathy for a man like you because they're seeing you. You have drugged the entire country. You are the first president to have even hired more LDA bosses than ever before because you don't know anything. You're a coincidental leader. When people have hastily get to power, they just don't have anything on the platform, and so they offer nothing. And you get one cross-eyed man who can't even see properly, gets on a microphone, and he says he's talking trash to the public. And those who listen to him are just like him. And those who support Joseph, a man with parasitic life and who been a massive failure, they are just like him. You know, what's up? So the country have been drugged by Joseph Weakland Boaka. Everywhere you turn, Spark and Die, Zuma, kids are dying every day. The time is now. The time is now. We will rise up. Erika Sobo, we will rise up. We will stand up. We will showcase our might to the votes we have. Our voices will be louder than the one you're hearing now. And we will stand in the face of tyrants like you, greedy people like you, arrogant people like you, indisciplined people like you, and those gangsters and rude kids that you assembled at the Ministry of Information. We will chastise them equivalently. Who are you? Who are you? Because you're not a leader. Every time you go out of the country, you eat free money and bring nothing back. You take a step out of the country, you look the same. You dress so well and come back so filthy and pitiful. You go out of the country and bring no money. You bring no resources. You sign no concessions. Everything fraudulent. You are a fraud. You are a fraud. You went before a whole world president and the only thing you got back to our country, good English. Even though your English was not correct, but you were made fun of. You don't even have the conscience to think that you haven't done anything yet. 2 years gone. You're still here. And you think it's funny. The 3rd year is coming. And you will think it's funny. By the time we hit the 4th year, you will hear the cloud yelling. The thunder will strike. And you hear the voice. And the only name you will hear around, George WEAH Sr. You will be confused, you will be disturbed, you will be bitter, you will be angry, you will want to rig election, but there will be no room for that. When the voices of the people start to come out, when their faces start to frown, when our thoughts enlarging, when our capacity build, when our IQ extend beyond yours, the pitiful, empathetic vote you got before, you might not even be able to get even 20% of it. Because the people seeing you, they knew who you were, Waki Adolphus Kepa. But they were hesitant. They just felt there was a room for a new beginning. Look at Ghana today. They led a revolution there. They brought back in the system a one-term president. See, being a loser does not take away from you. I don't know why most of you think, I hear you say, oh, you're a loser, you are angrier than we are. We are relaxed. Because the JORWEAH model talks about peace. The JORWEAH model teaches democracy. The JORWEAH model talks about freedom. The JORWEAH model talks about the freedom of press. The JORWEAH model talks about development. The JORWEAH model talks about building capacity. The JORWEAH model talks about free tuition for public university. The JORWEAH model goes beyond building hospital and capacity for military. Now, come to realize, this is the only sitting president, or the first ever to build the first ever military hospital. Now challenge the information. Don't just go post on rule case of information, Jeremiah Pia, Daniel Sando, two uneducated folks who probably just finished school based on the teacher's lesson and they think they're smart. Who told you brutality serves the purpose? Fetua Peter, how you doing? Nyampu, Lopu, Flomo, what's up, my brother, the Hunter General? Who told you brutality serves the purpose? Who told you a violent nature of a leader? Ask Ahab in the Bible, if you're a Bible reading kid. Ask Ahab. He will tell you. Excuse me. When you read the Bible, check for the man Ahab the king. Check for Nebuchadnezzar the king. Check for Saul as well. Brutality does not serve the purpose. Arrogance does not serve the purpose. Disrespect does not serve the purpose. People like you have opportunity to lead. Instead of showcasing what your worth is in your very old age, you come with violence, you come with disrespect, you come with hooliganism. Who told you can scare Joshua by deploying 1,500 military men, armed men on the airport? He served the people before. They respect him more than they respect you. You go to America occasionally now because you weren't having an opportunity. And then when you get to America, you do nothing there. You come back just the way you went. Probably on a medical trip, not even on government's function anymore, because you don't bring anything here down the board to what's up. You went to the system and you have it collapsed. The UL was functioning. I read from American's note the other day. Ain't nobody in the history of the country have been able to compose a good budget for UL except from him, then Joshua, then let's see where you got. But the place is collapsing. The place is collapsing. The same American that gives a note. Let's take away the negative, but let's look at the positive vibe. He sent you a note. When the country was faced with hardship, who slowed the hardship down? Josh. When we had COVID-19 in the whole world, and the whole world was faced with disaster, Michael said, no one, what's up, Copsy? The whole world was faced with disaster. And everyone was struggling for an answer. It took a leader that Joshua to answer to the hard questions. He sang a song. It went global. Yet you sit here in your narrow mind and you think it's not okay to sing. You call in names because you've never been successful. You don't know how to be successful. Liberia was ranked in the Washington Post And people read that how this man will control the COVID-19 in a lot of countries that have been a begging country. What model was he using? Friends and other presidents were asking. But today, people like you who don't read history, who are waiting for your teacher to write something before you read and understand it, or you need a study class teacher, you are the one talking. People like you who need study class teacher, you are the one talking. Joseph Boakai needs a study class teacher. Daniel Sando needs a study class teacher. Jeremy Lakpia needs a study class teacher. And many of your government officials need study class teachers. And the reason is simple. They just don't know anything. They're so arrogant and believe they know. I'm proud that I serve and I can stand anywhere and explain myself. I'm proud that I met a system that I converted to a better system, that someone comes and struggles because he doesn't want to ask questions. I've never seen a bloody, arrogant man succeed anywhere before. That's why you are feeling 2 years gone. And everything you touch has been something we did. 2029, we will beat you heads on. We will beat you to the extent you will never even imagine you want us before. And the only reason you want us, because there was a margin of error. And that margin of error will be corrected by the people, not us anymore. They had sympathy. They were in some emergency. They didn't pay attention to details. So out of anger, a few folks collaborated with you, not knowing who you are. But you had to kill Prince Johnson. You refused to speak to him until he died. When you say you were going to dance with the devil, people underestimated you, Joseph. When you said you were going to dance with the devil, people underestimated you, Joseph. When you said you would dance with the devil, people underestimated you, Joseph. But they didn't know who you are. Some of them don't know who you were. An angry old man who carries grudge for almost 7+ years, going to 12 years, while working for Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. I listened to Amara Khan. I made reference to him again because he said that. You told him that. You have been angry for years. You were looking for opportunity to vent your anger. On who? Who are you looking for opportunity to vent anger on? You have been living, sitting, pathetic. Nobody cares for you. A former president cared for you, helped you out. Now we are not asking you for a favor. We are asking you to protect the Constitution and democracy. Yet you don't rationalize what it looks like. Now when you are out of power, unfortunately you're still alive, you bear the consequence, and someone said they are hunting you. Because you're going to be a loser. Whoever you put there are going to be beaten. Why? Because the people are coming back on the good side. In America, they brought back Donald Trump. And you know why? Because they don't want people cheating them and lying to them and contaminating them and coming and do nothing. In Ghana, they brought back. In Venezuela, they are bringing back one-term president because of their models that help the environment to be built and developed. For economic empowerment, they brought back Donald Trump. For economic empowerment, stability, and development, they brought back John Mahama. Here in Malawi, they brought back a man, I'm older than you, but he did so well. I think they say he's 85. They just brought him back. And I heard in Venezuela as well. And you think it's fun because you are a different country and you all here know so much. So are you serious? Are you serious? Yaba will say you T, man. Are you serious? You think you're serious? You did not win elections for being smart. I keep reminding you, you won elections because our society, sometimes out of anger, are not very patient to follow a good leader. I wasn't around when Torres was president, but I was told the same thing happened. And you were around, but you brutally did not listen to nobody. So people like you today, we are the same people here now. See those we gave him power to. We fed Gregory. We catered to Gregory. We gave him portfolio. We respected him. We trained him. We taught him how to be a good gentleman, taking him out of trauma and recreated his mind. Gregory gets back in anger mood and he's brutally on airport. He's misbehaving. He's trash talking. What sense does that make? I heard some police people talking. I haven't really listened. I heard from the street corner, and I'm hoping that it's not true. That the former president is not responsible. I hope that is not true though. But I heard. And if that is true, I'm coming for you. Because nobody in the police in your hierarchy at all. Nobody, absolutely nobody in the entire hierarchy is responsible. And you know why? Because I watched the police perform in the past 2 years. Your grades are bad. You are stupid. You have problems. And you need to be dealt with that way. Jeffrey, yes, what's up, my brother? David Miller. We handle you the way you are. We treat you the way you are. Do you know why His Excellency George Emmanuel, Great Man Walking, Bunty Sisit, Liberia's Miracle Child, and the man who does the unusual arrives in places and he's healed, he's admired, he's treated kindly and respectfully, he's given courtesy, he's been healed, he's been admired, and people are inspired, people are motivated, values are added. Do you know why? Have you asked yourself, have you read about him? I haven't read anything about Joseph Whitlam Boycott. All I've read in very recent time, he became president, he was vice president, and that's all I know. And then he has some jobs from Invera Connors, but everything about him has just been empty spaces. You need study class teachers. You need study class teachers because you don't know anything. You are arrogant for no reason. You are angry for no reason. Our people are tired early, but they need to wait. Patience is virtue. They need to wait. They elected you. I heard the story of Nebuchadnezzar, but God told them to wait. I saw the same story of Saul, but God told them to wait. Because when people don't listen, when people don't pay attention, when people don't follow instructions, when people don't adhere to instructions, when people don't comprehend the notes, they must ask questions. When they hurriedly answer the questions and they don't ask people to help them to teach them, they will be assigned to a study class teacher. And that's why we are assigning, we need you, Joseph Boycott, to find a study class teacher because you are collapsing the country. We don't want to take over a collapsed country because we will beat you very well, but we don't want a collapsed country. The economy is going bad. See the kind of argument all the illiterate folk will hear that too long. The rate was 1,000 is dropping. Are you serious? Is that how you argue? And no wonder why we are faced with this this whole crisis thing. You keep contaminating the system. How educated are you when you come here and say the rate of $5 to 1,000 is dropped now? Is that how you explain? Is that how you explain to your kids at home? What can the $800 buy compared to what the 1,000 was buying? Are you sensible enough to understand this? Now, we're not joking here. The CDC is coming back with men and women, qualified, capable. The reform will be huge. The situation you've created will change it. You lie to the people. You blaspheme the people. You got transportation? On the table, the money in there. Go there, it takes 300, 400 on the table, please. I'm doing something. Sorry, my son wanted transportation. But I'm telling you the reality here. I will soon be closing. But here's what I want you to know. In this generation, I hear people talking, you dull, you crazy. I bet you, my friend. In this generation, my name is Siokin. Pick your pen and sheet. My name is Siokin Sebekos Basiga. In this generation, I'm one of the greatest. I'm one of the most sophisticated. I'm one of the best academic. And I'm one of the most educated in this generation. I don't want to question other generation, but I'm telling you, and that's why people say I boast a lot. For you who tell me I'm dull, I don't even know you, your name hasn't been heard before, I don't even know where you come from, but think about what I just told you. In this, I'm not saying in the CDC, I said the entire generation we all belong to. I'm one of the greatest, if not the greatest. And I'm one of the sophisticated, if not the most sophisticated. And I'm one of the most academic. Because I can't be the only. There are very smart folks out there doing great jobs. But I can tell you, amongst the three, the first 1, 2, and 3, if I'm not 1, I'm 2, I'm 2, 3. Because what hurts you is that because I tell you straight in your face who you are. Now you want to challenge me, but you don't have no facts and you don't have nothing on your table. So you get foolish and you say I'm dull. No Liberian in my generation will ever tell me that. That person must be out of the mind. Because in this generation here, I tell you for free, I'm one of the best. I care less about what you study, whether it's biology, chemistry, physics, or whatever. When you get you studying all those things, become a natural scientist or climatologist. I don't really care if you become an astronaut. But what I'm telling you, in this generation, Jerkin Carson, what's up? Prince Weaah'S, what's up? In this generation, I tell you, like how my boy Alvin Weaah will call you rescue puppets. In this generation, I'm one of the best. In the entire existence of Liberia, JORWEAH is the best. The facts are there. I don't know how you argue in this country. That's why we have the first lowest IQ in the world. But in arguments, you must base it on facts. Your theses and your theses and the antitheses must not be alike. Tell me I'm lying. How come I'm not the best? That's what I want to know. Because we just brought you to power the other day. 2 years later on, you already got a broken economy. You are shortfalls in budget. You have everything collapsing. You have a rude, disrespectful police that are beating people, killing people in control, beating, but people getting missing and people dying every day. LDA is the worst ever under this regime. You have changed and changed and changed. Now the drugs are full the country. It full your hand. It's at your home and at the vice president's home. It's at every ministry. Everyone taking in drugs in the country. I'm sorry, everyone in this case is a singular indefinite. And so you don't misunderstand it as me too, because that's a plural form. But everyone, including we can check them single, you've contaminated the system. How dare you come to power and your only thing is JORWEAH, JORWEAH. Think about what you want. What's your agenda for the country? The educational system was met in good footing. Free tuition for university. Why didn't you capitalize on it? You were busy gossiping. You were busy using your mouth loosely. You were busy sitting at information ministry gathering gangsters and rude folks, kids who don't even have resume and backgrounds. You were busy looking for things that don't exist at all. And there where you got glued, and that's why you are not succeeding, and that's why you will never be successful. In the next 3 years, you will fail miserably. I live in this generation with peers. I'm 44 years old. Gregory is 45. With nothing against him. Far better than him. Far better than him. Most of you folks you have, some people talking about Port of Buchanan. I led the Port of Buchanan as the best ever in 2 years. Ask every port director of Buchanan to read a report of Buchanan Port with all their records and what they've done. You will mention after evaluation, international evaluation. Come on, boy. It's me. I got batches here to testify. I got suggestions and recommendations from Washington, D.C., from ISPS, International Code. Now listen, if you don't know me, you better think about it. Oh, Edward Bolo, you like ask him and say, what did you do to still be in what you call the thing, how you call it, you do NGO work? I'm gonna tell you what JORWEAH did, Edward Bolo. You asking me? You probably weren't around. You probably were volunteering with UN, maybe in Sudan, because you don't even pay attention, big brother. Edward Bolo, I list for you the 14 military hospital. It's why you must have maintained it and bring him back now. I take you from that to Riverside, the referral hospital. I'll take you to Bapolu, the 100-bedroom hospital. Then I'll take you to Minga Market, Douala Market, VOA Market. And I will go on and on. Ambassador Roosevelt E. Taylor, what's up, my brother? Ambassador Mike E. Doko, what's up? Now, Bolo Edward, listen again. I bring you to the place where we come to the economy. The economy got balanced from 15 to 4. And the resource of the country was being synchronized and separated. And what you wanted him to do is to hear you anything and do it. That's not the governance. And you think you're supposed to just sit there and say, my name is Edward Bolo. Go and beat this person, go and sack that person, and it's done. That's not governance. And that's why most of you who claim to be educated are always condemned. You are not educated. Because you're ever thinking for the second that you can wake up in the morning and you know everything, and so you say the president should do it, you have a problem. And that's the trauma most of you carry. Why did JORWEAH do to be brought back? I take you to the roles. The one from here, the Journal RRA, but now it will be completed. What did JORWEAH do to be brought back here? You did not complete the role on Somalia Drive, on Ghanaville Road, going to Raleigh. George completed, put lights all between and fix it, and call on Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and cut the ribbon. Where were you? That my heart to sweetness. What's up? Where were Bosco Hammer? How you doing, big brother? And I tell you today, I'm educated. I'm not like those folks you ask questions and don't want to answer you. Why should JORWEAH be brought back here? Under his jurisdiction, he was the first president to build several recreational parks. I take you to Invisible Park. I take you to PHP. I take you to West Point. I take you to, sorry, you can call me now, please. I take you to West Point. I take you to Claratown. I take you on D12E. I also take you to the control territory that brought in. Look, come on. You don't know anything? Ask. That's why I'm here. What did JORWEAH do to be brought back here? He built an army, never forgotten. They betrayed themselves. He didn't betray them. He provided them over 10, 15 armor trucks. He provided them an upgraded salary. He took away the money in the store and gave it back to them. When the government that was in power and stole their money, he brought the money back. He gave it to them. He electrified their places. He watched the former first lady build a vocational school. He also built several housing units. You still asking, what did he do? He brought in ambulances. He built the GFK in a very refined way. He made the building. The building didn't have some of those things. The license center, no. Look, if you ask me, why should George be brought back here? I'll take you to UL campus for free tuition. If you ever ask me again, why should you bring George back? The kids were taking free WEAH'S. The kids were getting allowances from Give Direct through his innovation and creativity. Are you still trying to find out why he should be brought back here? Of course, he told the matters to you. You need to give jobs to Liberians, most of his jobs to Liberians. And then listen, are you still asking me, Edward Bullard, who also want to know why we should bring him back here? You're driving on the road you cannot finish in 2 years. That road will have been finished by now. But because of the contamination, because of the manipulation, because of the disturbances you created in the mind of the people, here you are today. Danny O'Fine was my brother from school days. So when you don't know why we should bring this man back, I tell you, he will beat you in 2020, not on these records. Oh, the only mistake we had was so much tolerance level. And because the tolerance was so very high, most of you didn't respect the capacity. Most of you didn't listen to us. Most of you were adamant. You follow the wrong people. And that's why they say, show me your friend. I'll tell you who you are. Awuku do was a Western cheddar. Philip Foucault. Show me your friend. I'll tell you who you are. Patrick Ware, you know nothing about governance. ISPS, I always was a dukes in that thing. You don't know anything. Going back there, somebody just suggested FRP, man. This very way. In fact, most of Monrovia and its environs, the entire rehab that Joseph was vice president driving in and hitting people, guess what he did? He cleared the people from the road. He wanted to even buy the market and put his son business there. And my bros, what's up? In our days today, and when we are looking for sophistication, we can only count on George. The entire country since 1847, this is the president who will go to places where incidents occurred. Where have Joseph gone? All of the outbreak in the country, fire all over the place, houses are getting burned. His Excellency George Manuel Weah, senior great man walking born to succeed. Liberia's miracle child and the man who does it will drive there. He would have driven there, talked to the family and found an opportunity and sympathized with them. Have you gone there? But you drugged the entire country. You've contaminated the country. This is the only entity you thought you would have used for a campaign. Now Spark and died. Zuma, kids are dying hourly. Imagine we have 24 hours and people are dying hourly from drugs. What have you taken to JFK? We were there. What's up, Stages? What's up? Eva Harris, what's up? Tell me what you're taking there. Because we were at JFK. But we'll talk about Dallas Center. We'll talk about DNA Center. We'll talk about many things that we carry at JFK. But tell us what you've done there. I will take you from JFK. I'll take you to Bapulu. 100-bedroom, well 45 electrified building. Why have you taken that? You won the other day. What you did in Cape Mount, we had to go and talk to Bear Mountain to build a big vocational school for the folks who go to. You went and beat the people, you used Gregory to kill people at Bear Mountain. Do you remember? What have you done in Nima? We built marketplaces. We built marketplaces. We started the soccer field. We built roads all over Ganta to Lokwato to Sekepie, going to Granjide. And before you took us on power, what have you done? Nothing. You pretend to be smart group of people, but every day you concentrate on Joshua. You have launched an album over and over, Joshua. What are you doing? And I can bet you in 2029 you will be beaten flatly. You will be beaten decently. You will be beaten sweetly and brilliantly. You have in mind that you are a better person, but you've never been classified. Nobody has chosen you before. Nobody has even nominated any of you. You've never been met to big places. We've traveled the world. We've seen places. We work with big leaders. You've never got the opportunity, yet you think you're smart. Tell me what you do in the RIA. Tell me what you do in the RIA. The so-called smart kids are sitting there. What you doing there? What you doing at LTA? You brought in Abdullah Kamara or something else? Yeah? What you doing there? What you doing at agriculture? We gave agriculture to an opposition who was supporting you people. You're talking from there, Cooper. She was a bloody opposition. We gave her opportunity. Cooper, a bloody opposition who will help you to organize the June 7th. We still give her opportunity in agriculture because she's one of you who knew everything. And you still have the audacity to think you can mash us? I've enlisted. You don't have the audacity. Roads were built everywhere. But now, we've gone so far. The police were reformed and refined. They will go into a protest, not with guns, but with conversation, to negotiate. You take Gregory to the protest, guns, battle, tear gas, constant it. You were at LU killing the other day, shooting. And that's why you're going to be whipped. You are not any favorite guy. The Unity Party is no favorite party in Liberia. You are misunderstanding the Liberian people. But the time is now. You need study class teacher, Joseph Wickling Bwaka. You need study class teacher for information ministry because most of your folks there are rural kids. I heard you have 2 dudes in the rural classes there, Jeremiah Pia, and there's a boy called Danny Sano. You see, I don't know that other one. I heard his name. But I've heard about Jeremiah Pia. He was with Ellen Johnson Salif before. He's been like that forever. But I'm questioning you today. What have you done? 2 years gone. You've traveled more than everyone else. And you're raiding in the charter flight and private jets that you said wasn't necessarily good. You are defending everything you thought previously was wrong. You are enjoying the comfort. I heard you travel with $100,000 on a cart. You are dressing with signature clothes now. You're pretending to be a dancer now. You and your wife on the floor. They are all good things now. But the time is now. You are going. And when you don't catch your senses quickly, you and your team members, you will bear the consequence for your action. Be on a rampage. Beat anyone you see. But I'm not inciting you. That is sarcasm. Kill as many people you can. Did you see the U.S. State Department report on you? how you defy and denigrated democracy. You were given power at 0.8%. The votes weren't even serious votes. But a good leader gave you an opportunity to lead. Whenever he got bad in country, you deploy armed men to terrorize him. Last Monday, which is a week ago, you had Gregory Como Nelson Freeman and his men on the airport to terrorize the immediate former president. But because he's internationally acclaimed, he couldn't take a step further. He marched in your face. We posted videos consistently and continuously. You don't even know why we do that. Because our friends want to know what's going on. Washington, D.C. want to know. So we update them. We're not like you. We don't have no friends. So Washington, D.C. wants to update. And you think they're not watching you? We marched and walked in your face. The folks were walking from RIA straight to Monrovia. Did you see that? It's called New Day. That's the recalibration we are speaking of. Look, think, listen, comprehend. Because these days are getting shorter. You might not have the chance again to reorganize. Because everywhere it's collapsing. How can a fire outbreak in the VIP's master bedroom? Nowhere else. Now you are called to come in. You took an hour plus to come in. The next time I come, I will show you all the log. You took an hour plus to come. What they say that make you so bitter? When George was president, he brought in several fire trucks, new ones, 40 new buses for transport. When you bring 2 or 3 buses, you clapping. Old ones, you almost stole the country's money. You were bringing in some buses, old parking buses in Ghana. You were bringing them here. You lied to the people that you were bringing 285 yellow machines. You were bringing almost 1,000 scholarship program from something called narcotic, some criminal cartel. You were about to steal the country's money. The next time you were increasing the budget. The next thing, look, you've lied so much to the extent you can no longer lie. And 2029 will be the time. You said you wanted to dance with the devil. Houses are burning. You wanted to dance with the devil. People die hourly on drugs now. The whole country on drugs. You wanted to dance with the devil. You did not speak to Prince Johnson. You did not answer his call. You did not text him back. The people of Nima are angry. You allow Prince to die in anger and frustration. You will be paid. Your pay day might be one of the worst days in your life. I can assure you, you and your team, you are clogged up in the commode. You've destroyed everywhere. All the recreational facilities, you're breaking them down. And I can tell you that you will never pass this mark. You are stopping right here. The students are angry. UL University students now who were on your side, they didn't even know you. I don't know what judgment they were using, what yardstick did they use. They brought you to power. Have you heard everyone say we brought you to power? Meaning you were never significant. Have you heard? I don't know if Joseph listens or he listened. Because all of you around him have to listen on his behalf and take it there. Have you heard we brought you to power? Even every little boy that voted you said they brought you to power. Why? Because you had no business being here. You couldn't win elections. You weren't convincing. You weren't persuasive. Nobody valued you. Nobody knew you. It was a conglomeration of a team that analyzed that based on their anger, they could fight together to take us out of power. See how little the votes were and in the runoff, 0.8. You can't imagine how we'll whip you in 2029. We're coming back. You can be as confrontational as you want to, but we kept informing you, you got to have a limit. You got to have a limit. You have provoked us on occasions, but you got to have a limit. You've gone to an airport with the mindset to terrorize our leader, but we walk in your field, we watch you keenly, we see your guns, we see your triggers, we watch every move and step you made. We have people in the system that tell us who your guys are, what they're planning to do. We've never give up on you. We'll keep watching you. We'll watch the back of our leader, His Excellency George WEAH Sr., great man walking, born to succeed, Liberia's miracle child, and the society will keep watching you. We'll never allow you to terrorize our leader or to attempt to kill him. You've tried, but you've never succeeded. His house got burned a few days later, nowhere else but the master bedroom. Think about it. You are not the only investigators. We are. I'm a leadership expert. I sometimes teach criminal science, and so I would know. Sociology, so I would know. I'm not running into judgment. I will leave you with your judgment. But I can inform you. For those of you who come to the seditions and say the door, you got, he met Freeman, what's up, my brother? We got one of the most and the best group of students, academic, in the CDC. And for anyone who would think it here, the Siakin, Civicus Basiga, is dull, you must feel this generation. Because for me to be dull, the generation 60 to 70% will be considered dull. So you better think before you say a word. In this generation, I'm a King Kong. In this generation, I'm a champion. In this generation, I am a hero. My generation recognizes me. That's why globally, everywhere I go, people respect me. People admire me. People appreciate me. People give me allowance and stop me. Never pay me. Then say, Jordan, how you doing? I'm not like you. You are struggling to gather your friends. Build relationship ever since. From soccer to academic. But what about you? We will protect that man called George WEAH. We've never let him loose in your hand. How you doing? You are hurt and bitter because of the name. The presence of the man has changed everything. Your political climate has changed because you are compelled to change. If he wasn't around, or he weren't here, it would have been a whole disaster. When you needed peace, you ran to George WEAH. You needed to disarm, you ran to George WEAH. But you don't want us to tell the story because you manipulated the system, contaminated the system, you drugged the system, you lied to the system, so you don't want us to tell them. We are going to deliberately face you on every given day when we are alive. People like you leading us today, there must have been something wrong. You didn't have no business being president. Coincidence happens. And I can tell because I'm a leadership expert. We are bringing George WEAH back here in 2029. We're bringing him back here to be president. We are bringing him back here to lead his final term left for him. We are bringing His Excellency George WEAH, great man walking, born to succeed, Liberia's miracle child, and the man who does the unusual, back here in Liberia at the executive mansion. And in 2030, he will be inaugurated. We will march in grand style. We will reform the country. We will provide jobs. We'll correct the errors we had. We will open up the country to the people. We will build the economy as we were doing. We'll stabilize the economy. We'll create opportunities for our people. This will be the yardstick on which we will be elected. Fellow Liberians and ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to me and thanks for following me. Share the podcast as many times as you can share it. Let the world know that George is coming back. His Excellency George WEAH, great man walking, born to succeed, Liberia's miracle child, and the man who does the unusual. He's coming back for reform. He's coming back to recalibrate the country. He's coming back to reconcile the country. He's coming back to build the economy. He's coming back to build the country. He's coming back to keep re-imaging the country, to provide opportunities for you people. Don't follow their lies. Don't follow their attention-seeking conversation. Don't follow those rude assign kids to information ministry. Some people like that have never been in existence. They use the name George WEAH to be familiar and to be known, so don't follow them. Follow us. The CDC, led by His Excellency George WEAH, will lead this country again. We're coming back here. Be prepared. Be man ready. Be outstanding. Don't get distracted. They will distort the reality to present to you the wrong answers. Think for a second and realize it is a wrong answer. Think for yourself. Rationalize your thought before you accept it. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. My name is Sirkin Civicus Basiga, an award-winning academic elite, a creative leadership award winner, an activist and advocate, a politician, a humanitarian, and a leadership expert. We are George Mane Senior 2029 is sure. Let Liberia rise.